What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and we are here today for a new Madden 23 rebuild, the rebuild of the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was voted on Twitter as the next rebuild. It's also the team I wanted to rebuild next. This will be a regular rebuild with Madden-generated draft classes, as I do not have my realistic draft class done, and I think there's a lane for both styles of rebuilds. Rebuild all 32 teams realistic, rebuild all 32 teams with Madden-generated draft classes, so that way there, regardless of the style that you prefer, I got you covered. So our first rebuild was a Seattle Seahawks realistic rebuild. Now we'll get our first Madden rebuild, if that's probably the easiest way to call it. We're going to get that in here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If it is your first time stopping by and you want to hop aboard the bandwagon, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. And I'd love to hit a like goal of 1,000 likes so that we can drop episode 2 of the Carolina Panthers main channel franchise. Episode 1 dropped last night. We'll drop episode 2 if we get 1,000 likes on today's video on Saturday. So let's take a look here at this Pittsburgh Steelers squad, and I think they got absolutely robbed. I'm usually not one. I mean, come on. We went for the meme of the Cowboys ratings guy, and I'm an Eagles fan, and it felt like we got dogged. And I can fully admit, with no ties to the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got robbed. Kenny Pickett was the only first-round quarterback selected in this draft. Whoa, let's turn the lights on there. Jeez, come on. Maybe that's why. Maybe Pittsburgh just ain't paying the electrical bill. Kenny Pickett got a 68 rating. Now, you know, he was never going to have a cannon of an arm. I still think 86 kind of dogged him. Mr. Two Gloves could have helped him out on the accuracy a little bit as well. You could argue, out of all the rookie quarterbacks, Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, and Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett has the worst Madden stats out of all of those players, which is ridiculous. They gave him a Daniel Jones treatment. It's brutal, so that's something that we're going to try to amend here. We're going to try to make Kenny Pickett an absolute beast. Najee Harris at running back is absolutely going to have to carry the load while we figure that quarterback spot out. 85 superstar, second-year player out of Alabama. Just an absolute monster. Probably the first true successor, potentially, to Jerome Bettis that the Pittsburgh Steelers has brought in. We got Diontae Johnson, who just got his new contract. I don't know if that contract's actually in play here. It's probably going to be a part of the first roster update. So we're going to have to deal with that because that contract actually I thought was a pretty good deal. It was like a 2-3 year deal or something like that. I thought it was a great deal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we're going to have to probably hammer out a long-term extension. But that's still fine. We got the Canadian Chase Claypool. Canadian buys aside, man, he's a guy that probably needs to take a step up next year. You know, started out great his rookie season. Year 2 was ups and downs, but from a Madden standpoint, he's very good. And then we have one of my favorite players from the draft. If there was one wide receiver that I was higher on than almost anybody that made draft content, it was George Pickens. And it pains me. I'm a Gator fan. I hate Georgia Bulldogs. George Pickens, and I think they could have even given it a dev trade. I think he's an absolute monster. I knew he was going to be an absolute monster. I think he was overall my wide receiver 2 in last year's draft class. I think I had him head like guys like Jameson Williams and stuff. It might not age particularly well, but I'm buying stock in George Pickens. 6'3", 90 speed, 93 acceleration, 85 catching. This guy is going to be a ball. I'm going to tell you right now, if there's one guy I'm going to try to force into becoming a thing in this rebuild, even more so than Kenny Pickett, it is going to be George Pickens. And, you know, they got Calvin Austin, another rookie from Memphis. This guy here, elite athlete, 95 speed, 96 acceleration. You know, it's just kind of what the Pittsburgh Steelers do. Is there a better team at drafting wide receivers than the Pittsburgh Steelers? Oh, wait. Looking at the rest of the team, on the offense side, you got Dotson, 73 star. James Daniels coming over from the Chicago Bears, 78 star. But it's also fair to say, at both tackles and at center, gonna have to fix that. And I'm almost regretting it. I think this is going to be a real... Actually, you know what we could do? We could probably take Green. Kendrick Green played a little bit of center. James Daniels, I believe, played a little bit. I'm pretty sure James Daniels was a center, but center is the least important in a sim. So I'm actually going to take Kendrick Green for the time being. He's a second-year player, and he has kind of cross-trained a little bit at that center spot. So I think just moving him in there kind of gets our best assets on the offensive line, at least on the field, to get XP, but we're absolutely going to have to try to improve both the tackle spots. We got Pat Freiermuth at tight end, another very high ceiling player, 79 star dev, only 23 years old, going into his second season. Good athlete, great receiver, 89 catching, 82 catching traffic, 84 spec, and he can pass block, and he can run block. He's well-rounded skill set. Flipping to the defense, this is the strength of the Pittsburgh Steelers. On that front three, we got Larry Ogunjobi coming over from the Cleveland Browns, I think. Or with the Bengals. Either way, coming from within the division, just hopping around. He's hitting up every single team. We got Alu. Doug Costin pulls a dev trait, but the man on the front three is Cam Hayward. 94 X Factor. We are going to have to find his true successor. Is his true successor maybe even on the roster? Because they, made a decent investment here in DeMarvin Leal out of Texas A&M. He was a guy that at some points during the draft process had like a consensus first round grade. 68 normal, he's 22. He's got to pop a dev trait sooner than later. I don't know how he's going to do that because he's not going to step on the field a whole lot, but there is at least a guy there. But I think long term, we're probably going to have to rejuvenate this front three, get younger, find some studs, because Alu also is not particularly old. Rest of the front seven, Highsmith is a nice developmental pass rusher. You got Bush, who, it does seem like Pittsburgh Steelers fans are kind of like this is like a show me year. Has had some ups, he's had some downs. We got Miles Jack, who was an absolute bargain after he got released by the Jacksonville Jaguars, 83. He still pulls a superstar depth. And then we have the best player on the NFL as far as edge rushers are concerned. I don't know. Is that a hot take? Maybe still talent-wise, I'd go Myles Garrett combined, like the athlete and talent. And Aaron Donald's not real, Aaron Donald's just Aaron Donald. In terms of like an edge rusher, I'm going TJ. He can just do everything. He literally is like a complete defensive player. I think he should have got a 99. I think after last season, he should have got a 99. Or maybe the underlying, his rushing, his pass rush win rate and his pressures and all that, I think he's a 99 every day of the week. I'll just say that. I'll side with you. I'm getting some bonus points, some brownie points here with Steeler fans watching the video. Safeties, we got Terrell Edmonds, 78 normal. Solid player. Getting that, at 25 too, if he can pop a dove trade, he might look a lot better going forward. And I absolutely think one of the biggest quality of life things that need to get fixed in Madden. Stop flipping me back to offense. I want to just preview the team here. We got Minka, superstar at free safety. Levi Wallace, 77 star. Sutton, Kello Witherspoon, corner. And really, you could definitely make an argument that corner should also be something that we kind of try to pay attention to in terms of upgrades. Got a couple guys that are like, mid, 25, 26, middle of their career. Are they going to get that much better? Probably not. We don't really have that lockdown corner. But the best player in our secondary, absolutely, is Minkah Fitzpatrick. 89 superstar, only 25 years old. And he's going to have to be and do what he's done since he got traded and acquired from the Miami Dolphins. And that is gain and get turnovers. Because I don't think the rest of our corners are going to do that. So we have a lot of work to do. The offensive line, the secondary, getting younger on the front three. But I think that we can do all these things. We can attain all these things. And by the end of these 5 years, we will get another Super Bowl for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Didn't have to think too hard about who our three focus players are going to be here in year one, but I guess maybe that's a good problem to have, that there was options. But Pickens, Pickett, and Leal seem kind of obvious, especially for Leal, because we need him to maybe catch on just a little bit in case Cam Hayward retires and we can't immediately replace him with someone in the draft or free agency. Got a pretty nice camp breakout. It's Alex Highsmith, the man on the other side of TJ Watt. We got him a nice +5 tackling boost. I think another guy can catch on. I've seen, with that star dev guys, they're always just itching to go up to superstar. And if we can get Highsmith superstar, TJ Watt on the other side, X Factor, this pass rush is going to be ridiculous. So for the scouting, now that we're using Madden generated draft classes in this series, we need to make sure our region breakdowns are on point. So we have Jeremy Lewis, our tier 3 scout. His expertise is corner. That is also a strength of the draft class, which is huge for us because it's absolutely a position that I think we need to try to improve. Our West region lines up pretty decent, as Heyman is D-tackle, and D-tackle is a strength. Our Northeast region lines up pretty nicely. Our tier 2 scout, he's a tackle scout. We need some tackle help, and right tackle is a strength in the region. But Central and Southeast, we need to get a little bit of something here on the table. So I think in the Southeast, D-end, left end, it could be the spot that we should focus on there a little bit because our corner spot is handled by the National. And then in Central, they got right tackle strength, so let's just kind of throw all our eggs at the right tackle. So we need a 1-star scout that is good at scouting tackles. So let's see what we have here available. Come on, give me something good. There we go. Ife Ayodele. That actually looks pretty good. Tackle and outside linebacker. Sure, why not? And then we also need a 1-star scout that can get defensive ends And why not Lily Fam to also get a little bit of boost on the interior of the offensive line. So we're going to go to the Central region. We are going to make sure that our, let's go here. Ife Ayodele is going Central. And Fam is going to the east, southeast. Where are we going? Come on, there we go. Boom. So just like that, look at that. We got, boom, fit, boom, scheme fit. That's almost just looking at like a scheme fit. Boom, scheme fit, region fit, boom, region fit. So I highly stress that you guys do this at the beginning of every one of your franchises. Have no loyalty to your current scouting staff. Every single year, it's going to be different draft classes, different strengths, different weaknesses. Completely clean house if need be to benefit your franchise. So a few things ahead of our week 1 game. First is our season goal, all things considered, with a rookie quarterback. I know it's Mike Tomlin. I know probably every time he starts a season, the goal is to make the play. We'll go 7 wins with the under promise, over deliver, hopefully. But you'd be crazy to think we are not hopping on the sticks for the debut performance of Kenny Pickett. What I want to see, I want to show flashes. I'm not going to put a whole lot of pressure on him as we are going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. We're a very good team, just in the Super Bowl. So we got to beat the Bengals and get 2 touchdowns minimum with Kenny Pickett, and we are going to get a big-time XP boost. We're on the road. Divisional game. Hostile environment. Let's see what Kenny Pickett can do. All right, great. First drive relies on a deep ball attempt here from Kenny Pickett. All righty. We got Pickens, Johnson, Claypool in the slot. Stand right there. Quick throw. Stand up in the pocket. Don't know what they were doing. Able to get Claypool a little bit of a defensive break there. Tell you what, if you have to get your hands on Madden 23, there's not a lot of breaking out of the pocket. You just run into sacks more often than not. You gotta stand up. You gotta stand up in the pocket. 3rd and 9. Oh, come on. Let me get Pickens. Let me get Pickens. Look at that. He's just running away. He got that height. He got that weight. He got that speed. And more so, he was covered on a linebacker. Let's go. George Pickens. Boom. Boom. We're going to go George Pickens right away. I don't even care if this is going to be an interception or not. He's going to win at the line. He's going to high point the football. And he's going to absolutely moss. I think that was like Mike Hilton. 5'9" corner. Get out of here. Oh, as he gets destroyed, Kenny Pickett able to find Pat Freiermuth on 3rd down. That might even be a better throw than the Pickens touchdown. We got 3rd and goal. It is time for a design pass, preferred pass to Diontae Johnson, star wide receiver. I mean, even Claypool hasn't been super active. Gonna get to one of these guys. We're gonna scramble at the pocket, fire to the corner of the end zone, and that is good. Diontae Johnson, as the Bengal DBs lost him. I mean, low scoring, 21 points. Usually, we're going to give full kudos to our defense. Letting our offense struggle, but really we've had 3 good drives. That's all we've needed. And it might not have been sexy or pristine, but sometimes you're going to win a little ugly. Especially when you're the underdog like we were going to this matchup. And Kenny Pickett, Joe Burrow talking there in midfield. But I think mission accomplished here for Kenny Pickett. Did he light the scoreboards up? No, but he was accurate. 187 yards. 2 touchdowns, able to hand the ball off. Najee Harris could get it going with a $132 on the ground. And the Steelers start year 1, game 1, with a victory. The victory, get the XP, the little point here, and might as well continue to make Kenny Pickett a scheme fit here at the field. Drags up to a 69 overall. Nice. Awareness. And a couple accuracy boosts. And let's take a look at it. We got to meet the media. Kenny Pickett didn't like the stat sheet. We're going to be happy with starting with a win. We are. And I'll take that 1,000 XP. It's very modest, but we're 1-0, baby. Pretty good in our second upgrade of the season for Kenny Pickett. Gets +1 throw power, which with that 86 starting point, those are huge buffs for him. So take a look at our contracts. First up is Diontae Johnson. He has 0 interest wanting to come back to the team, but given the stake, given his ceiling, you pretty much 32. You have no issue keeping it because if he gets a little bit older, he's going to be easily able to make that transition to be a slot wide receiver for us. Alualu. Now, he's a veteran, but I think the important thing with him, and I'm actually going to give him See if we can start with neutral. He has the mentorship tag. That is important. He is going to be giving developmental XP boost every single week. He might just straight up retire, but I'll come back. I want to keep him on the team. We'll give him the next offer up. We have Boswell at kicker. I think he also got a new contract, and he wants a little bit more money. He's one of the best kickers in the NFL, so I think we'll come back to the table on both of those guys. Edmonds, I'm not going to overpay, but he seems absolutely like a guy. Again, if he gets a dev trade scenario, it'll probably look pretty sweet. Devin Bush, that's actually not ridiculous money. We'll start with the medium offer here. He takes that. Give him a, let's give him a player. He has that dev trade. All right, so taking a look, we finished bottom of the AFC North, 7-10, which is, it's not ridiculous. I think you look at the rankings, 17th offense, top 10 defense, and look at that result, Week 18, 41-3 over the Cleveland Browns, in which Kenny Pickett threw for 4 touchdowns. I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic, that Kenny Pickett is going to have a great year. Maybe get that dev trade. We need to get him off that normal dev. So we got 13th in yards, 12th in touchdowns. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting it unless he gets Offensive Rookie of the Year. 47 yards, 35 touchdowns. Those are outstanding numbers, I think, all things considered. 17 picks, pretty high. We got to cut down on that. Massive year from Najee Harris, 1,600 yards, 18 touchdowns. We have 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns on 90 catches for Johnson leading the team. 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, Chase Claypool. 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns on 73 catches for our rookie, George Pickens. And Frymouth also had a really happy seeing Pickens have that kind of year. Bush and Miles Jack in the middle of the defense, both going over 120 tackles, 20 sacks, 16 TFLs for TJ Watt on 93 tackles. Absurd number. Also had the interception. 17 sacks, 22 TFLs for Cam Hayward is also very good for him. That's outstanding. 9 sacks for Alex Highsmith, and Minkah Fitzpatrick led the team with 3 interceptions. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. Josh Allen is the MVP. Man, we got to have a lock on Offensive Rookie of the Year, right? Pickens finishes ahead of him. I'm not going to say anything. From one Canadian to another, he's going through some stuff right now. Man, hopefully we see him on the football field soon. I mean, it's so sad. Sauce Gardner. For the rest of the awards, we might just get linebacker. Yes, we did with TJ Watt. But you know what? That's kind of frustrating. 4,700 yards, 35 touchdowns for Kenny Pickett, and we're most likely going to end year 1 with him still on a normal dev trade. Our team suffers massive blows on the defensive line as we go through retirements. Alu retires, which he was a good player, and he had that mentor tag. And Cam Hayward just decides to go it on top. Oh, I almost had 20 sacks, the most sacks I've ever had. I'm just going to retire. That's brutal. Looking quickly at our roster before free agency, Najee Harris went from star up to a superstar after his ridiculous season. Everything else remained the same. And on the defensive side of the ball, I can't believe Cam Hayward retired. We got the superstar up to an X factor for Minkah Fitzpatrick, leading the team with 3 picks. I'll take that, but my God, what a massive blow seeing Hayward retire. So as we go into free agency, here are our big targets. Unfortunately, there's not a lot on the open market as it relates to our 3-4. You got Ogunjobi there. Yeah, kind of already told us no. Ioannidis, Derek Nott. I was thinking about Noddy to an extent. There's also the feeling that I kind of want to gamble on Leal, and we got Costi. You know what? Actually, we'll go with the 2-year low-risk offer to Noddy as well. We have the top bid, apparently. But either way, it's just not a lot of strength there, which is unfortunate because I did find some strength in the secondary. We got Murphy Bunting and Greedy Williams, and unfortunately, that's kind of where we also focused our scouting on for this upcoming draft. And if we land both of them, we're probably not going to pull the trigger on a corner, but those guys are as good as it gets for that price point. So let's go through the first evaluation period. Man, Elton Jenkins, that's the big one. But we got Murphy Bunting. That's a big get. He's day 1, corner 1 on this team. Derek Noddy is going to plug in nice on the D-line. I mean, we still have the best bid, but you can definitely tell Elton Jenkins is not in any rush to pick us, but he does. Money talks. We have nothing he's looking for a team, but we offered the most money. And, I mean, I don't blame him. You're what are you, 25? Secure the bag. And all 4 of our guys did that. After free agency, before the draft, looking at our squad in terms of where should we be prioritizing there. I think left tackle is our biggest need. That's really all you could say on the offense. Maybe bringing in a RB2 potentially, but that's way down on the list. Left tackle is a big need. Maybe center, even though I think Green's going to be serviceable. Flipping to the defense, it's just replenishing that front three. Even though we have Leal and Costin, and we signed Noddy, you know, more so on that outside, get a guy that may have a superstar or something like that. And then you could also kind of throw in corner there. But, you know, by getting Murphy Bunting, by getting Greedy Williams, it's not much of a priority. So I really do want to try to hit on a left tackle here. We're on the clock at pick 14, the top tackle on the board. I looked through like all the other offensive linemen as well as far as scouting, and, you know, there's nothing at the right-hand side. So really, it's down to two picks. One is we stay at tackle and we look at James Wilder here. ABB, that D run block is a little off-putting, even though, you know, you traditionally left tackle pass blocker. Or we go slightly undersized, but just making the cutoff for a 3-4 defensive end, Quandarius Hall out of Central Florida. B block shed, A power move, B tackle. The combine, I think we got to go with this. Combine's better. And hopefully we can hit on a tackle a little bit later. Oh, I got the normal dev, dude. Brutal. There's two tackles that look interesting, at least the most interesting. One is the actually best available Marcus Traylor, who I think we're going to pull the trigger on. Another one is a little bit of a sleep here. I like the look of this Andrew Ferguson. He's UDFA, so we should be able to get him a little bit later. But we have a chance to swing here on Traylor. Come on with the hidden dev. We need it. Dang. That Ferguson guy must be good. He was UDFA, and he's gone in the 6th round. I'm gonna have to go check that rating out. Found Ferguson, 68. He was a normal dev. Went in the 5th round, projected UDFA, so that's still a great pick. Wish I could have made it. Wilder, the left tackle. He was the other guy we were considering as other pass rusher. He's 73. He pops a hidden dev. Hopefully it is a star because the guy we drafted there we go. It's a star dev. Okay, let's look at our own draft class. And it ends up being pretty solid. The fact that we went through it, didn't get a single dev trade player, but we got a 74 for Hall, normal. The tackle that was kind of a, you know, who's left, best of what's left over, wasn't our first pick. 72, that's outstanding rating there. He's going to compete with Dan Moore right away as a rookie. We got a nice power back, 69, 67 strong safety, 66 right tackle, and a 64 tight end, just kind of filling out the depth chart. But Hall and Traylor might see a lot of field time as rookies, depending on how things play out during training camp. Year 2 changes for the Pittsburgh Steelers, on top of the fact that it is year 2 for Kenny Pickett. Imagine going almost 5,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, and you're still like, oh, 74 normal year 2. Let's go. Let's run it back. But as far as the offense is concerned, we're actually going to go Traylor at left tackle, our 2nd round pick. We got Elton Jenkins, who we signed in free agency. He's going to obviously be a day 1 starter. On the defensive side, we're going to go Hall and Costin. Costin does have the dev, even though Leal might have a higher ceiling. We'll go with the dev trade for now. And Noddy, our new D tackle, will get the start. We got Murphy Bunting, Witherspoon, and you know what? I'm actually going to bump up Greedy Williams over Levi Wallace. But we are 4 deep at corner, which is some pretty good depth. Everything else remains the same. Fully optimistic. Well, we had 7 wins last year. We could probably up that to 9. 9 should be our goal. Might as well just make the playoffs, baby. It's time. Year 2. Quick turnaround. This could be a big week. We have double breakout scenarios. First up is our 1st round pick, Quindarius Hall, looking to get off that normal. And we got it's very unlikely, but an X Factor scenario upgrade for Diontae Johnson. All things lined up here for our matchup against the Bengals. The 24-21 loss, but Quindarius Hall goes up to a star dev plus 20,000 XP, so that just makes him that much better of a 1st round pick. But I think with only putting up 21 points, we're not going to see great results here on the X Factor dev for Johnson. And for Hall, gets 4 skill points. Yeah, you know what? I'm usually someone that likes to build into the scheme fit, but I also want him to be a power rusher. I also want this guy to be a prolific, you know, we got to replace what we lost in Cam Hayward, who was putting up 17 sacks last year. And I don't think just going with the cautious, you know, we'll throw 1 point there in the run stuffer. We want him getting after the quarterback. This could be big. Coming off a dominant Week 5 victory, 35-21 over the Houston Texans. An expected victory. We're both TJ Watt and Kenny Pickett with 5 touchdowns. Got the player of the week. We have something. I feel like I can't come in and play it. That'd be a little too much hands-on, but we have a breakout scenario for Kenny Pickett. He's coming off a stellar game. How does he go to the next step? He has to absolutely crush it. Throw 1 or fewer interceptions and 300 yards or 3 touchdowns to get Kenny Pickett up to what I think is a just star dev. But especially just because we hit that dev trade for our first round pick, I can't in good conscience like hop on the sticks and try to get that one over the line. So let's hope it can happen organically. I mean, the Raiders are down bad. They're 1-4. We put up 34 points. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Any thoughts on the play you got at Kenny Pickett today? Not too much. You made, but fuck. I mean, and he crushed it too. He literally threw 2 picks, and he could only throw 1. The football Madden gods don't want to make Kenny Pickett a thing, it feels like. Take a look at our contract extensions. First up, we have, I'm going to go with Kevin Dotson, 26, has that star dev. Wouldn't mind giving him a 3-year deal, keeping him at least 29, getting him locked up. That's good. We have Miles Jack, a middle linebacker. He's looking for actually quite a big deal. His interest level is low, so we're going to have to hit him with at least a player-friendly deal. I really don't want to lose him, but we're going to have to pay the bag. Weatherspoon, we're good. Claypool, I want to keep him around, keep developing him. Let's see if we can hit him with the neutral deal. He wants a little bit more. I think we could give him the 4-year deal, and he will re-sign. Wallace, he's only looking for a 1 year. I mean, if he'll take that 1 year, I have no problem at all keeping him there as our third corner. And we got Highsmith. Again, another guy, 26. Wouldn't mind a 3-year deal, player-friendly. So really, it all comes down to making sure we can hit and re-sign Miles Jack and Claypool. All right, our last swing for the fences for Miles Jack. We'll give him the very player-friendly deal, which he accepts. And now I'll take a look at Claypool. I think if we just give him the friendly deal, he should accept 4-year deal. We got him locked in. And now we have another big importance point of year 2 of this rebuild. Coming off a Week 9 victory, we dumped 41 on the Cardinals. TJ Watt, 9 tackles, 5 sacks. He's going to shatter that sack record. We got another breakout quarterback scenario. So you know what? We kind of said maybe we feel like it's in the stars that Kenny Pickett is just never going to go up dev. This is the second time this season he's had a chance. Last time, he went over 300 yards. He threw for 4 touchdowns, but he had 2 picks. Let's see if he can do it here against the Cardinals. Secure the deal. Get that star dev. Let's go, man. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Well, my math's not the best, but I don't think there's enough touchdowns there for the dev trait to go to Kenny Pickett. Man. And it closes out year 2. If it wasn't for a ridiculous 15-2 season from the Ravens, we might have had a chance there. 11-6. Great progress. I mean, we set our goal to make the playoffs. Absolutely achieved that. And I'll tell you, I'm no idea what the, oh my God, Quinnen Williams, what a year. By the way, 16 sacks. It felt like every game we were winning, we were putting up 40 points. I think we're going to have one of the better offenses. TJ Watt, 21 sacks. Right there. But I'm gonna be upset. I don't know if we're gonna get it. 47 touchdowns. He absolutely crushed it. I mean, you saw it every time he had a dev scenario outside the second one. It was just like 3-4 touchdowns every single week. 4,900 yards, 47 touchdowns for Kenny Pickett. I'm just gonna fold it. You see that? You're going, wow, that's truly an amazing year. That's what is going 47 touchdowns, and we're just rocking Steelers. It's Steelers. I didn't know that they were going to be, a hot team like that this year, but apparently they are. Now, I don't know with those yards, but for the love of God, give him star def. Give this man, he almost had 50 touchdowns. 1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns for Najee Harris. We had 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns, Diontae Johnson. 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, Chase Claypool. Almost 1,000 yards. Would be nice to see him get 1,000 again. 8 touchdowns, Pickens. 700 yards, 7 touchdowns for Freiermuth. Just insane stat line here by Kenny Pickett. Tackle machines for both of our middle linebackers. 21 sacks on 16 TFLs for TJ Watt. Highsmith with 7, 6.5 for Noddy, 6.5 for Costin, 6 and 15 for our rookie pass rusher who did go up dev trait, Quindarius. Oh, Pick leader is a Kayla Witherspoon, of course, is set to hit the open market. And we're going to need someone like Greedy Williams or Murphy Bunting to pick up that in terms of ball hawk ability. Yearly awards MVP goes to Lamar Jackson, Kenny Pickett, and 47 touchdowns. Gets you top 5. Just squeak it in to the top 5. Ritter's there as well. I mean, the Chiefs went 16-1. That's pretty ridiculous. In the AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Lamar Jackson. Diontae Johnson at 9. Just what is there something glitch with my quarterback that he's not getting any respect? DJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. Quindarius Hall, Defensive Rookie of the Year. He might have a chance to hit that double dev and go up to a superstar when all is said and done. Kenny Pickett, there we go. Finally, a little bit of respect. The runner-up for the top quarterback in the AFC. And for the rest of the awards, we have TJ Watt for Linebacker of the Year. And now all of our focus. We can't worry about the dev traits right now. Everything needs to focus on going on a little bit of a playoff run. And in the first round, we're taking on the 9-8 New York Jets. A terrific opportunity to get our first playoff victory. I'm telling you, like, this is every win. It feels like at least 75% of the time, if we're of our victories, we put up 40 points. Like, Kenny Pickett, you know, was an S-tier performance, but still was pretty damn good. Almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. We ran the ball very well. Diontae Johnson kind of crushed it there. But I'm just saying, man, this Steelers are a fun franchise in Madden 23. Playbooks, whatever you want to call it, they're absolutely crushing it. Look at the sacks, too. And we have a chance to play the ultimate spoiler as we take on the 15-2 Ravens, and that would be absolutely phenomenal just to knock them off. They think this is like one of their greatest years of all time, and it is an epic matchup. 34-31. The Ravens just hold on. They got Lamar. We're at different stages of our franchise. Pickett goes toe-to-toe with a former MVP. The Ravens were a great team this year. They deserve it. And we had no extra upgrade at the dev trade turn, but Hall did get one. And again, we're just going to keep pumping points into the power rusher. And with his odd Defensive Rookie of the Year, he goes up to a superstar. You know what? We're going to make him a team captain. Right now, an immediate replacement for Cam Hayward. Now, here's something that we're going to have to discuss, not just for rebuilds, but obviously for our main channel franchise. Someone brought it up in the comments, and I think we're going to open it up there, but also in here. Kenny Pickett did go up his dev trait, which is great. He got off normal up to a star. Diontae Johnson went from superstar up to an X factor, which is awesome. And you see trailer here, our second round pick, developing nicely at left tackle. And even Pickens is developing nicely, even though he's yet to go up a dev. But there is a current bug in Madden 23 franchise mode that even if you have dev trait regression off, guys still go down dev. As we can see, Miles Jack went from superstar down to a star, and Minka went from X Factor down to a superstar. Supposedly everything was reworked, and all things considered, Miles Jack had a lot of tackles, and Minka had a little bit of a down year. It's probably just that he went down a dev trait. So what I'm saying, as also Edmonds went from normal up to a star, supposedly it's revamped, the regression and all that stuff. Do we rock and roll with dev trait regression on? And then, like, for an example, if TJ Watt just randomly, some of the reasons why we don't run dev trait, because years past, it'd be utterly broken. Maybe I just monitor it, and if there's any devs that are absolutely shouldn't happen, I just kind of intervene. But for the most part, we just let it rock and roll. Like, how does that feel? Let me know in the comment section below if you think we should rock and roll with dev trait regression on for all of our content this year. And then again, we just kind of play an intermediary if there's something that's just super egregious. But as we close, we have some devs in the defensive side, and most importantly, Kenny Pickett is up to a star dev, rightfully so, after throwing for 47 freaking touchdowns. Let's get into the offseason. So year 2, kind of an interesting Super Bowl, the Frank Reich Super Bowl, as the Colts beat the Eagles 27-10 on the back of Jonathan Taylor, your Super Bowl MVP. I will say free agency is absolutely ridiculous right now. It needs to get tuned down a little bit. Like, it's better than having, if you told me I could either have no one on free agency or have a lot of different options, I take a lot of different options. But ultimately, with our salary cap, I could probably just re-sign guys off this open market and not even have to worry about drafting to like kind of complete my team. So I do think it probably will be patched in the first like content patch. But it's just self-control. I'm not gonna just go ridiculous. I want to try to maybe get a nice splash move here or there, and that's exactly what we're gonna try to do. Doug Costin, DeMarvin Leal. I want Ed Oliver. I'm gonna put Ed Oliver at defensive end. That is my plan, anyways. If we can get him, there's no other real big-time bids, and Ed Oliver, welcome to Pittsburgh. And something, honestly, I need to get in the habit of doing is when you have a lot of leftover salary cap like we did after just signing Ed Oliver, why not fill your team with some mentors? Look through it, go through, just sort by interest on every single position that you have a young player in. So we have our young tackle trailer. Got a lot of youth at wide receiver. Kenny Pickett, let's get him a bridge, guy with the mentor take, Matt Ryan. We got a lot of young corners. We'll get Denard, and we have for Hall, our DN, superstar DN. Let's bring in the Canadian Brent Urban. But if you have a little bit of extra spending cash, by all means, you should be getting in the habit in franchise mode of trying to just lock in some one-year veterans with the mentor tag to get that extra XP boost that coming season. The last piece of business before the draft, we're absolutely going to be picking up the 5th-year option for Najee Harris. Unfortunately, I hate that as a former running back myself. Running backs need to get paid, but nature of the business. So we got some offers here thrown around, and I don't know what. I wish I could inspect the players. Like Jalen Tolbert, all right, name value. Actually got some good value from the Niners for cost him because of Ed Oliver. We got Eubanks at tight end. Don't know what the dev is. We got another hidden, creative player. Cruz, 75. I'll take the added depth here at D tackle. Welcome to the team, Cruz. Holy shit, look at the size of him. 6'4", almost 400 pounds with a dev. Let's go. Huh? What? As a team here at pick 26, we're very much in a spot that there's no real weakness, but I suppose you could look at Kendrick Green at center and just say he has the most limited ceiling out of all of our starters right now. And there's a great looking center here in Emmett Crosgrove. The key ratings all look great across the board. The combine looks as good as you could ask for. Come on, give me the dev, which we get. So at minimum, we got a guy with a higher ceiling than our existing center. Second round, he was I don't know how he slipped. He was supposed to go in the first. He was still there, 6'4", 222, 91 speed, 91 jumping, and a hidden dev, Tyson Brunell out of Texas. Great first name. Third round, can we make it 3 for 3? Our scouting did the work on this one. We got Martin Perkins, who has a first round, second round grade combine. As good as you could ask for. Optimism incredibly high. He's going to be a great player. There we go. Made up for it. No hidden devs in our first draft. 3 straight in our second. So our draft recap, things look fantastic. And I also will say right now, from 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, these were all players that were projected to be UDFAs. It just kind of, combines look pretty good. The stats look pretty good. No devs, but I'll take 69, 65, 69, 65, copy and paste. We got in the third round, Martin Perkins. I didn't even see the size. He's going to be a DND tackle. Could be flex, a little bit of a flex play here in our scheme, but that is outstanding for that third round. Second round, Brunell. I thought he was a guy that I actually thought about maybe even going in the first round with that size, kind of more so a depth. I think you can make him move him to tight end if you really wanted to. But there's great value there. Again, surplus requirement. The only need we really had, and we didn't even really need it because our current starting center is pretty solid in Kendrick Green. Maybe we'll be able to shift them on for picks, is Cosgrove, who with all the boosts up to a 77 hidden dev. Going into your 3 changes, Cosgrove's going to get the start at center. Everything else, I'm excited to see Kenny Pickett. 47 touchdowns. Can he repeat, and can we get him up to a superstar? Brunell makes up just an outstanding. I mean, even going down to Austin, man, we're 5 deep at wide receiver. Flipping to the defense, man, you also got to consider Cruz. He's who we got in that trade just randomly with the Saints. 400 pounds star dev. That's almost like just another first-round draft pick there behind Derek Nottie. But we'll still go, even though I kind of want him for the memes because he's that big. Nottie's just a better player at this stage. Ed Oliver, Hall, we got Perkins. We just have so much freaking depth to this team right now. And Minka, I mean, he might be a little upset this year. A little bit of revenge tour going down dev trade. I expect a playoff run here from this team year 3. And let's make it official. The Steelers we got 40 points week 2. We beat the Browns 56-24 in week 3. If you guys need an offensive playbook, look at the Steelers. 12 catches, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, Diontae Johnson. Huh? Shout out to TJ Watt, too. So we got our contracts. First off, we have Pat Freiermuth, a.k.a., honestly feels like a true successor to Heath Miller. So we'll get him locked up. He's a great tight end. We have James Daniels on the offensive line. It's the same thing as Madden, man. Every year, we'll come back to the table. You got to ride your lineman to the ground. You get a hidden dev lineman, you don't let them walk. So Nottie's up for a contract. We got that other D tackle, the 400-pounder. We could save a little money there. Corner, Kendrick Green. Obviously, we drafted our new center, so we could save some money. But I do like my punters the way I like my women. So we're going to get old thick boy here. Presley Harvin re-signed, and we'll absolutely come back to the table and make sure we get this one for James Daniels over the line. The third time Kenny Pickett has had a chance to go up dev. This time it's from star up to superstar. Got to put up a big stat line here against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'd hate to do it to my birds, but they're 3-10. We're on opposite sides of the food chain here this season. We handle business. We got a weekly award. I'd love to see Kenny Pickett here because it makes me feel pretty good. Oh, wow. Of course. Hey, quarterback breakout. Let's force feed the power back. I can almost assume what this is going to be. Unless some of those were like receiving touchdowns, I suppose. But, I mean, every time we've had a dev trait breakout for Pickett, we've won the game at least. As year 3 comes to a close, still looking for our first divisional title. But 11-6, tied with the Bengals. At least we have, achieved our goal, our first goal anyways, of making the playoffs. Looking at the big picture here, we have, unfortunately, nothing all the way down. TJ Watt, 19 sacks, 3rd in the NFL. And, I mean, our passing yards have always been off. The touchdowns are what's important, so 10 less. Still a great year for Pickett, 37 touchdowns. But, anytime you're 10 short from your previous year, it's regression. There's no other way to put it. Najee Harris continues to absolutely be dominant in this rebuild. Almost 1,700 rushing yards, 19 touchdowns. He chipped in 350 and 4. He's got to be on the MVP shortlist. 8-6 for Pickens, 8 for Freiermuth, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns for Claypool, and an outstanding 110 catches, 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns for our slot wide receiver Diontae Johnson. Defensively, 3 players this year going over 100 tackles. We have on the sacks front, 19 sacks, TJ Watt, 18.5 for Ed Oliver, immediate return on investment, and 11 sacks there from Quindarius Hall. 4 picks, Devin Bush in the team, 3 from Murphy Bunting. So, I mean, if you're going to nitpick, give a couple more ball hawks back there. Mahomes is the MVP. We just had absolutely nobody make it. Najee Harris, runner-up for Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Greg Rousseau. Runner-up is Mr. TJ Watt. Ed Oliver coming in number 6, getting immediate return on investment from that big signing. Looking at the rest of the awards just to see if we have any outright winners that might get a little bit of a dev. And it's unfortunately our X Factor Watt. But I mean, I guess with dev trait regression on, you don't want him losing that X Factor. First round of the playoffs. Do we have the secondary that can contain the speed of the 12-5 Miami Dolphins? And we get humbled. They stretch us out. 42-7. What? So as we clear out our lockers here in year 3, as far as dev traits gained or lost, nothing on offense, which is fine. And on the defensive side of the ball, Ed Oliver goes from star up to a superstar. Same with Edmonds, going from a star up to a superstar. Everything else kind of remains the same. And let's just burn all of the tape. My controller wants nothing to do with this offseason after that disgusting performance against the Dolphins in the playoffs. As far as the offseason is concerned, 2 positions that I want to try to upgrade. One is at guard. The second is, let's see if we have good corners. Can we get a game changer? This would be more so in free agency, but corner, guard, that's where we're looking for between free agency and the draft. I just noticed Minka regressed from superstar down to a star. Yikes. So James Daniels couldn't get something in season. Oh, and he doesn't even pick our team. All right. Got to go to the draft, needing 2 spots. I will say I am still annoyed. It's got better, but you still get the occasional 5th-year option, and the GM, the bubble, the speech bubble, just absolutely ridiculous. But we are absolutely going to be picking up the 5th-year option of Kenny Pickett, even though this guy thinks we can't find ways to get him on the field. There are 2 players I desperately want. I think we're going to have to make a trade to secure the services of the next guy. Just move up a little bit in the second round. We need corner and guard. And I absolutely want this guard. 2nd, 3rd round projection. Caleb Knight out of Auburn. A awareness, A impact, B pass, B run block. Yes, sir. But corner is the more premier position. We have 2 really good looking options here. We have Carruthers. We have Curtis Knowles on the outside. Knowles has the better base stats. Carruthers has the better combine stats. We will trust our scouts that have the higher grade on Carruthers. Give me... there's no dev. That other corner has a dev trait. You know he does. We've been able to trade all the way up to the 5th pick of the 2nd round by giving the Seattle Seahawks our 4th round pick. I mean, we don't really need any more mid-round values. We need guys that can come in and play. Hopefully that corner even though there was no dev trait. And I'm going to try to go look at that other corner that we decided not to get. But we are going to come up and... Actually, let's make sure he's still not on the board. He's definitely gone, right? He is. So we're going to grab that guard out of Auburn, Caleb Knight. Can you have a dev trait, please? Thank you. Now, excluding the fact that the portrait and the player do not look anything alike, I'm okay at drafting in Madden 23. This is our 3rd round pick. So here's a look at the corner we did pass on. 74 normal. So I think all things considered, you know, we're doing okay. Ooh. Philly. We might be talking about one of those generational guys, looking pretty close. But looking at our draft class, pretty good haul yet again, as Cortez Carruthers is 75. No dev trait, but, you know, it's a great developmental piece. We got Caleb Knight, 74, hidden dev in the 2nd round. Sergio Easley, who's going to move to a DN, 70 with the hidden dev in the 3rd round. Yeah, not a bad draft, all things considered. I'll take 3 70s. Year 4 changes. Knight, our 2nd round pick, will get the start at right guard. Glad we were able to trade up and get him before he got sniped by somebody else. Offense, though, remains the same. I would love to see Kenny Pickett, even though 81 stars still looks underwhelming going into year 4. He's been an absolute baller. Let's see if we can break 40 passing touchdowns again. Defensively, man, this team is... Our front 3 is ridiculous. Our linebackers are very good. Our safeties are outstanding. And our secondary... You know, I'm excited to see Carruthers. Maybe he'll get a dev trait scenario sooner than later. As far as contract extensions here in year 4, we got some of our top players. I actually wonder if I'll be able to get them on these neutrals because they're so willing to re-sign. We got Najee without overpaying. We have TJ Watt. I mean, that's a fair deal anyway, $100 million. But we didn't have to go with some sort of ridiculous overpay. We got George Pickens, who, you know, I would have been nice to see him get a dev trait. But I'm also such a big fan that I want to keep him around as our wide receiver 3. And then lastly, Devin Bush. I think he's been solid enough. If you didn't take that offer, I think that would just be open up a spot that we can go look at replacing on the open market. And yeah, let's save this 34. So again, I'm still looking. If we can get like an X Factor corner, shutdown corner, that's still going to be my top priority this first offseason here. As we, you know, we're getting pretty close. Super Bowl or bust scenario. Tell you what. We just put up 49 against the Jets. We have another breakout scenario for Kenny Pickett. Year 1, nothing happened. Year 2, we had a breakout scenario. I was like, let's just let it happen if it happens. We've had a bunch of failed ones. I'm not going to lie. We're going to hook him up here. Or at least we're going to try to. We're going to try to. Come on, Johnson. This is you, baby. Boom. Touchdown 1 of 4. Let's go Muth, full ass backwards, yes sir. Touchdown 2 to the Muth. Throwing the ball on the 1 is never really what you want to do here, but maybe we can get Muth or Radovic, the tight end, in motion. Actually, looks like he should be wide open. We're gonna go B. There we go. Come on, easy does it. Slant Johnson, get me. Come on, easy does it. Slant to Johnson. Get me. Thread the needle. That's superstar. So staring down a barrel of Super Bowl or bust. No Super Bowls. Debatably some robberies along the way for dev trait. Kenny Pickett is now a superstar dev quarterback. Year 4, and we finally get our divisional title. 12-5. Very competitive AFC North. But as you can see, we had a top 10 offense, a top 10 defense, a top 5 defense. And looking at the big picture, we have Najee Harris, 2nd leading rusher, only behind Derrick Henry, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. Take a look at these stats. Did we get the 40 bomb with Pickett? Yes, we did. 45 touchdowns. Kenny Pickett. I mean, we had, you know, subtract the 4 that we threw in our game, he would have had 41. We wanted the 40 bomb. He's absolutely crushing it. And now, what is he up to? 85? 87 with the boost, but a base rating of an 84 superstar. Things have gone very well for him. Massive year for Najee Harris. 1,900 yards, 17 touchdowns. He's been so good. 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns for Diontae Johnson. Claypool and Pickens, both under 1,000, but decent years. 10 touchdowns for Freiermuth. And on the defensive side, 100 tackles, 3 players. Look at the intercept. We were just saying we challenged our guys. Can we get more picks? Before we look at that, 16.5 sacks for TJ Watt, 14 for Hall, 12.5 for Ed Oliver. That front 3 is, you know, I mean, he's not in the front three, but he is kind of. TJ Watt, it's absolutely disgusting. But look at the picks. 5 picks, Greedy Williams, 4 for Miles Jack, 3 for Edmonds, 2 for the rookie Carruthers on 80 tackles. That's not bad. Yearly awards MVP goes to Josh Allen. Kenny Pickett coming in at number 8. And in the AFC, do we have any award winners? Cortez Carruthers is Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, I mean, that could solve his normal dev problem that we had with him. TJ Watt's just copy and paste linebacker of the year. But that's tremendous stats, man. It's been a very plentiful rebuild. We also got the first round bye. We are the 1 seed in the AFC. And don't make me eat my words. I have said generally in Madden 23, at least in my experience, the better team wins more often than not in the sim. This is a first true run at it. It's year 4. It's Super Bowl or bust. We have Justin Herbert who threw 27 touchdowns on the Texans. Weird. We should win this game. We should win this game 75, 80% of the time. And we handle business. 38-24. Going to the championship right away against the Cleveland Browns. But look at that. Clean game from Kenny Pickett. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Over 100 yards for Najee Harris. And on the defensive side of the ball, TJ Watt, 2.5 sacks. Sack and a half, Highsmith. Oliver and Hall getting after it. And now all we have to do is beat that pervert Deshaun Watson, and we're going to the Super Bowl. Gonna look at what they're doing. I mean, look, again, we are 4 overall points. There is no area they are better. Can it continue? Can the best team continue to win more often than not? And they do. Dominant performance, 28-10, meeting the Falcons in the Super Bowl here. It is Desmond Ridder going up against Kenny Pickett. You know we're going to sit front row. You know we're going to sit front row. You know we might have to interject. They're the host team. They're going to be incredibly hostile environment. But they don't have Kenny Pickett. They do have Jonathan Taylor, but they don't have Kenny Pickett. Carruthers winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, goes up dev trade. I love that. That's a very small quality of life, but it's definitely something we need. Let's go to the media day, see if we can get some boosts for our squad ahead of everything. Obviously, in this matchup, Mike Tomlin, immense experience, especially over his counterpart, whose dad owns FedEx. That's it. That's what he's bringing to the table, right? My dad owns FedEx. Yeah, right, buddy. You're not winning. Desmond Ridder. Kenny Pickett. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You think Atlanta's winning this one. Opening drive, 7 on the board for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, Atlanta ties this one up. Looked like there might have been a turnover there. Quick, 14 points, but we're able to equalize. They get the instant touchdown, and they're starting to pile on. We need a touchdown before we go into halftime here. I always think we got a 4th and 3 on the 7. I think we got to go for it. Field goal could help. I think we're going to go for it. We need a touchdown here. We need a touchdown. We got Pickens. We got Freiermuth. I'm actually going to have Pickens audible to a slant. Slant cheese. Might need to call it in here. Let's go, George Pickens. We needed that. And they just get a touchdown again. Okay, you know what? We'll go again. Huh? If I can get this... Of course, I can't get the playoff. Come on, boys. Come on, dude. 42 points. What are we talking about? Giving up 50. We're a top 5 defense. Literally all the goodwill that has been earned by me saying the better team wins. And then a top 5 defense gives up 52 points in the Super Bowl. Absolutely disgusting performance from the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. We got one more year. We'll be back. Here are 3 big targets for free agency. 1, show love to fullback. We'll see if we can get an upgrade at kicker. And I don't know why he's here, but Sauce Gardner's on the board. Hopefully he picks us, because that would be awesome. Thank you very much. For the final draft, we have no weaknesses, so we're just going to trust our board. We have D. Lucas fully scouted. He has a first-round grade, and we'll pull the trigger. And for our draft recap, I'm not going to lie, I kind of just set the board. No one below a 65, which is the lowest. RB was actually the next position that I was like, we could get an RB too. We got Kelvin Harris out of Auburn. He looks nice, but look at that, man. Lucas, even at the signing of Sauce, you can never have enough depth in that secondary. So before we even do the team previews, I went into our strategy. It's annoying that it's still a bug, but D. Lucas, our hidden dev corner. See what that says next to it? CB33, age 22. Zodok, we got... at the buzzer, for whatever it's worth, year 5 drafts are the least impactful drafts. unless your team's kind of down bad a little bit. We got out of our first Madden generated regular rebuild, and we got our X Factor, baby. So the offense looks good defensively. Knowing that Lucas is an X Factor, we got Sauce Gardner. We're going to bump Sauce up to corner 1. We got Greedy Williams, what up, Dev? We got Lucas. Let's make, honestly, we can't make that jump. The Dev trade helps, but X Factor, we know that's going to be red when it unveils. Hall, our first big draft pick, has developed incredibly well. He was brought in as a successor to Cam Hayward, and he is up to an X Factor, so an absolute success story. Here in year 5, this team, I can't say absolutely is good enough to win a Super Bowl, but we are good enough to get back to a Super Bowl and have a second chance at it. And we finished year 5, 13-4, our second total AFC North Divisional title. Our team is at 93 overall. We have the 6th overall offense, 3rd overall defense, and in that, 3rd best rushing offense, 2nd best rushing defense. Good God, looking at the big picture, we got Najee Harris, leading rusher, 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns. You don't need a lot of award winners, though. It's a cohesive unit. Kenny Pickett has his worst year. 4,400 yards since his rookie season. 4,400 yards, 32 touchdowns. Not a bad year. Cut down on the interceptions, but, to go out, I would like to see him rather go in blaze of glory. Big, massive season. But we also had just ridiculous rushing numbers. That probably had something to do with it. 14 touchdowns for the backup. 18 touchdowns, 1,800 yards for Najee, who's been MVP of the rebuild, I think. 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, Diontae Johnson. Decent receiving numbers for everyone else, but again, we were just so heavily focused on running the ball this year. Defensively, we got 13 sacks for TJ Watt, 11 sacks for Quindarius Hall, 8.5 there for Ed Oliver, 3 picks for Jack Edmonds, and the newcomer, Sauce Gardner. Where is our... He didn't even play. We don't even know yet how good he can be, even though we do know how good he can be, because the little exploit you can do there. Desmond Ridder wins the MVP. All right, well, good knowing that whenever it comes time to rebuild the Atlanta Falcons, Ridder is kind of a cheat code in that offense. Good to know. Offensive play that goes to Mixon. Let's just see what we got. Okay, well, TJ Watt just gets linebacker of the year every single season. It's not a bad year. I don't want to be like doom and gloom. Our record was outstanding. It's back-to-back seasons. We are the 1 seed in the AFC. Maybe it's just rushing numbers aren't sexy when you're kind of focusing around a first-round draft pick quarterback. But we know he's an absolute baller, and we get right away into our playoff push here against the 9-8 Bengals. I would say generally an 87 overall team that possesses a 91 offense is probably a little bit better than that 9-8 record. This whole rebuild has been a battle in the AFC North. Every team outside really the Browns has been very competitive. Able to get a victory, though, and we get to take on another 9-8 team. But look at those points. What do we got? 35-27. We got a, what? Backup QB got a little bit of action here, but a great game from Kenny Pickett. Not like last year where it really did feel like we were convincing the back. These are some pretty good, 88. If this was the Titans base rating at launch, they're going to be one of the best teams in the game. But we are on another level, I think. 92 offense, 95 defense. We should absolutely just be, a wood chipper. 31-17, we knock off the Titans. I'm not worried about it. And then we are in the... I'm not going to lie. I said at the very beginning that the team I wanted to rebuild the most from our first kind of non-realistic was Pittsburgh. The other one was Chicago. So it's good to know that the Bears can rebuild themselves pretty well. Get that 92 overall defense. Let's go to the media day real quickly. Just see if we can get some sort of boost. And maybe we'll pick the other option that's not just like a staff boost. Non-factor. Do we get something that helps out the rest of the team? Nope. All right. Let's go beat the Bears. Then an old school, historic franchise matchup at the depths. Year 5, we don't want to start this rebuild series off with a dud. We need a Super Bowl. Najee, there you go. Don't touch it. That's bad luck. It's Kenny Pickett season. Kenny Pickett going up against Justin Fields. Who is going to be able to get the Super Bowl? Is it going to be the blue chip quarterback from college and Justin Fields? Is it going to be the grinder that did it the hard way in Kenny Pickett, who also, you could say, did it the hard way in the pros because it took him forever to get those freaking dev traits up? Low scoring battle. I mean, both teams have premier defenses, so it's, you know, I'd rather see something like this, a little chippier, because we like to run the football, than what we saw in the last Super Bowl where it was 50+ points loud, made no sense. And things are looking a little bit comfortable here in the fourth quarter. Unless the Bears can get a touchdown here relatively quickly, we're going to be able to chew this game up. I don't even need to come in and help them out a little bit. They got my little bit of rub when we got that dev trade for Kenny Pickett. They did the rest. They said, C4, you rebuilt this team phenomenally well. We are a juggernaut. We are ready. Look how massive that punter is. Presley Harvin, so thick. Just Super Bowl. That's all we needed. Super Bowl. First rebuild in. Check it up. I mean, Justin Fields way too happy to just be losing a Super Bowl. Well, let's do it. What is that? The 7th Super Bowl in franchise history, I believe. So as we just sit here, enjoy it, soak it in, I need you guys in the comment section below. What team do you want to see next for the rebuilds? It's still going to be most likely these type of rebuilds until I can get my 2023 draft class ready. So let me know. Like, again, if you ask me, I think the Chicago Bears are kind of interesting. You have teams like the Texans, which would be a massive rebuild. But all about you guys in the comment section below. Let me know who you want to see next in our rebuild. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. I would love to just somehow for my channel to catch fire and 200,000 subscribers during this Madden 23 cycle. I would very much appreciate it. If you did like what you see, to stick around. And, likes, comments for the YouTube robots helps out my channel, helps out my videos. And that'll do it for me today, guys. Appreciate ya. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to see where the stats are for Kenny Pickett. Let's go check out those stats, and then we'll wrap this one up. Something like if I was watching this rebuild, wasn't actually making it, I was like, well, what are they looking like? Big picture right now. So let's see. Kenny Pickett, through 5 years, 23,000 passing yards, 196 touchdowns to 57 picks. Najee, I mean, phenomenal. He's going to the Hall of Fame on the pace that he's been able to set. That's a Hall of Fame running back right there. Johnson crushing the rebuild. Pickens, decent for Claypool, but Pickens through 5 years, 4,400 yards, 34 touchdowns. Freiermuth was nice. Defensively, we got some plays there. TJ Watt, 138 sacks. Hall, he's probably our prized possession, I would say, so far out of all of our draft picks, because of the way that came in normal dev, a little underwhelming, grew, developed all the way up to an X factor, 42 sacks there. But yeah, man, it's a good team for everything about Kenny Pickett, for how long it took, for the grind it took, and of course he regresses. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a franchise quarterback, and that was our goal. So again, now it's time for the intro. Thank you guys very much for watching. Love and appreciate you for supporting all of the Madden 23 videos so far. Let's keep on keeping on the grind. I'm a father of 2, and I can tell you right now, the grind that I'm putting in to make sure Madden 23 is my year, while being dad of the year, I'm trying my best. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.